So if I talk about the mechanism, it's essentially very similar to what goes on in the example. The person believes he's not at home. So he says, take me home, I need to go home. His friend shows him by taking him to the outside of the house, by looking at the address, by looking at the number, and shows him that this is your house. You're mistaken when you think that you're somewhere else. So now he realizes, yeah, this is my house. So now he goes back in the house and he sits exactly where he was. And now he doesn't say, take me home. So in my life, I had created a belief. And the belief was that I am a separate soul, and that this soul needs to unite with the ocean of God, like a wave unites back with the ocean, or the drop of water goes back to the ocean, and that the way to do this is meditation. So as long as I held on to that belief, as long as I thought that that was the truth, there is nothing that anybody could do to free me from the trap that I had created myself. And the trap is my own beliefs, except I don't think they're beliefs, I think they are knowledge, I think they are the truth. So I was 100% convinced that this was the truth. So that thereby creates the trap. So the first step was to destroy the beliefs that I had created, the concepts I had in my mind. So that was the first essential step. Now, the thing to notice here is that unless I trusted the person I went to, unless I had some affinity, unless I had some kind of a connection that enabled me to hear what he's saying, nothing was going to work. Because I'm already convinced of my reality. So without that essential first connection, nothing was possible. Because he is basically going to shatter my world, destroy everything that I've built up. So that was the first step of the mechanism. Destroying the certainty, replacing the certainty with a maybe it is the truth, maybe it isn't. And then eventually showing me that actually it isn't the truth. The truth is something else. So that process took quite a while. So I would go to this person and I would listen. And he would tell me stories, or he would just talk, and I had no idea where this was going. I just listened. I just went along with it. But I was open. And as I listened, certain things started happening. I was beginning to realize that maybe I'm not as certain as I think I am. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the path I've been on isn't the truth. My mind became convinced. But nothing happened beyond that. Until a lot later. Until I went through a trauma. And in that trauma, because I had been prepared, something broke instantly. I knew that the rubbish that I'd been listening to was nonsense. It just dropped. I became a skeptic. I was no longer a believer. That was the first step. So at that point, when I was traumatized, suddenly everything that he had told me over months and months all made sense all at once. It was only after that that I met Makari. And I said to him, by the way, I'm already enlightened. So obviously something had already happened. But what he did in those 4 or 5 days I spent with him was to take it to a different level, to give it a practicality, to make it real. Before I just understood. So with Makari, the understanding went deeper and it became an insight, a realization, which is very different from an understanding. Because an insight, I can't really explain to someone. Something I've understood, I can explain. But an insight can't be put into words, and if it is put into words, the other person doesn't get the insight. They just get an understanding of it. And that was the crucial thing, because from those insights, things became so clear that they cannot be denied, they cannot be questioned. Because the mind itself, the mechanism that questions, is unable to grasp the insight. The insight is something bigger than that, deeper. I'll give an example. We can say things as a theory that you have to remove the ego, the I has to go. That's just an idea, a concept, and no matter how many times you say it, no matter how many times you read it or somebody tells you, it's not going to really register as to what that means. So at a certain point, Makari said to me, you don't know how to receive, do you? Which means you also don't know how to give. Do you want me to help you? And I said yes. So he talked to me for a while about giving, about receiving, and he goes, you've got to practically do it. You've got to be able to receive. Otherwise your giving is going to be fake, false. And you've got to become authentic with this. So the next day when everyone is sitting, I'm saying, pay me. Because I've given to you from my heart, pay me. Something I would never have done. Because it goes against my rules in my head. So then some people gave me some money. Makari looked at it and he goes, pay him. I've seen the way he's given to you. So now I've got £65. So I take that money and I give it to Makari. And he says, what are you doing? I said, I collected this for you. He goes, no, put it in your pocket. Now that was the hardest thing for me to do. Because it broke all my rules. I'm not the type of person that asks for money and takes it and puts it in my pocket. So to me it's not my money. Because I still have an issue about receiving. So then it's lunchtime. And I go and do something that I've never ever done. I go to a cafe and I say, I'll have one of them, and one of them. And I've not even asked the price. The price isn't listed and I haven't asked them, and I don't care what the price is. I hand over the money and I take the stuff. And I sit down and I start eating. As I'm eating, thoughts are going on. And the thoughts are saying, what are you doing? You've never ever done that in your life. You always ask the price. So what's going on now? And the answer came that this isn't my money. I need to get rid of it quickly because it's not mine. And immediately from that, another thought comes. If this money isn't yours, what about the other money? The one in your bank account, the one that you've worked for, the one that you've earned. Is that your money? That's also not my money. No money is mine. Mine is an illusion. Nothing belongs to me because there's no me. And as all this is going on, I'm realizing that I've always missed the point. I've never understood. I've never really got it truly. I just had the words. And now suddenly the words become alive. They become real. Something happens. And I can see that something's happening to me. I don't care anymore about what people think. I'm coming out of the shell I was in all my life. I'm becoming authentic. And nothing matters to me anymore. And all this is a realization. It's something that's happening that I can't really explain. So all these things were necessary for me to become playful with life. That's why I sat the next day in his chair and I observed the reaction, because I don't care anymore. It's a game. So after that, the whole of life became a game. It doesn't matter. So when I go to the microphone to ask the Radhaswami Guru a question, I don't have a question. It's only entertainment. The whole of life is now entertainment. Because it's not leading anywhere, it can't lead anywhere because there's nowhere for it to lead to. So when I say there's no space, no time, no goals, nowhere to get to, there's only the oneness, I'm referring to it in a different way, that there is only this oneness and there is nothing else. Nothing to achieve, nothing to attain. And oneness implies there is no separate me. That's the reason I use the word oneness. There is no separate me and there is no separate you. To me it's obvious. It's clear. I don't know how it's clear, but it's clear. I can explain it, but you may or may not understand the explanation. To me it's crystal clear. It's not just an idea, it's not just a concept, it's the reality. The reality is that I thought I was an individual. So I wanted to unite with God, just like the person who's saying, take me home. And now it's been shown to me and it's very clear, and now I can't possibly say, take me home. I also can't meditate, because it's impossible now, because I don't want anything. Yeah, I can meditate for entertainment, just for the hell of it if I want to, but I can't seek anything. It's impossible. There's nothing lacking. I don't want anything. I can't want anything. There is nothing that can do anything. So it's not like I've achieved anything or attained anything. The one that normally seeks to achieve or attain has gone. And it's not something I did, so I can't take any credit for it. So if by mechanism we mean how did it all happen, it happened through the whole process of letting go and listening very closely to those people, Makari and the other person. And in the process, I let go of all my beliefs, everything I thought I knew. And in that vacuum, this thing happened. What is this thing? I don't really know. All it means is that there's no more seeking, no more searching, because there is nothing to find. And this is not just an idea, it's very real. I can't find anything because there's nothing to find. And there's no me that seeks anything. There's nothing lacking.